So here we have Murray. We are in Tractor Supply. I wanted to show you how well Murray is doing on the leash. Of course, all puppies have off days, but I wanted to grab some clips while we were here and show you how he's just strutting along by my left side. Of course, he can look around and smell things out, but I wanted to show you how he is doing in a public setting as well as his leash walking. So he's being very good. I'm just kind of changing my pace up a bit. So he went to cross behind me, so I just told him, and then eventually he came right back to my left side, and I told him he was a good boy for that as well. So I'm just telling him this way if he goes to get interest in something. There he started to smell something. There were some other dogs in the store, and we were coming up to the tub area, but I just wanted to reward him for coming along and being a little brave boy. There was a big Rottweiler right there in the corner, so we got a little nervous, but that was totally fine. We want them to be able to work through those distractions as well as be comfortable in those type of situations. So this I just told him he was a good boy this way, kept walking around. He sat down, but that's okay. I just told him this way and kept on walking, and he came right along, right by my left side. And every time he looks up at me or shows any kind of handler focus, I just tell him he's a good boy. He saw something nervous. They were moving a bunch of carts throughout the store, restocking shelves. So they were big carts, but I just want to tell him he was a good boy, and that's okay. That way he knows that it's totally fine. Those things are normal to see and things like that. But he was being very good, and I was very happy with how he was in this store. So all throughout this trip, I'm just reminding him, yes, good boy. Those positive marker words to keep it extra positive and make sure he's having a good time as well as being focused and being rewarded for being such a good boy here. He was so very good, and I'm so happy with how far he's come and how he's doing this far. So it's always important to remind him how good he's doing throughout this trip and how he's being such a good boy. We really love that loose leash walking right to your left side, them not pulling out in front, but I wanted to show you just how well he's doing as well as how he did on this trip with all of the dogs and the people. He was really good, and I'm very happy with how he was doing. This is just him walking through those electric doors and seeing how well he does going through them, with them being automatic, and he did phenomenal both ways, going in and going out. He was such a good boy, and I'm very happy that I got to share with you how well he was being on this trip. So then the next clip, I'm going to show you some of his sit stays and down stays in this store as well, because I want you to see how well he can work in that public setting thus far. So here we have Murray again, and we're doing some sit stays and down stays in a store in a public setting. So I just put Murray in that sit and told him stay without any treats. He did break, so I put him right back in that sit and told him stay again. Now it's totally fine for them to break in this area because it is a new environment. It's a little distracting with all the people and dogs walking throughout the store, but I wanted him to be able to listen in this sense. So I told him put him right back in that sit and told him stay as I walked to the end of the aisle. I reminded him stay throughout this command as well, just making sure he knows that he's doing a good job as well as to stay during this command. So here I gave him some pets and told him that release word of okay, and told him he's being a very good boy throughout this, making it extra positive. So here he didn't really want to go down. He wasn't quite sure about what I was asking from him. So I gave him a treat, or let him smell that treat, told him down, just to make sure he knew that he could go down and be totally okay. Gave him that treat, moved him over to a different spot, and told him sit here. And then right down to that down without any treats, and then told him stay. That way he did do a down without a treat because I didn't want to give him a treat before a stay. You don't give treats during this command or throughout it at all, only at the end, because you want them to work for that reward in the end of getting that treat. So if you give it to them before or throughout it, it's almost knocking that reward at the end. They don't really want to follow through as much as they would for a treat at the end because they're looking for that reward. So at the end, we just give them lots of praise and lots of treats, tell them they were a good boy or a good girl, because we want them to have a fun experience throughout this without getting any treats during the command or in the beginning of the command. This I just went up and pet him, told him okay, and then gave him some extra scratches, telling him he was a very good boy. Lots and lots of pets. Tell him he's a very good boy. Just to keep it extra positive, we always want them to want to do it, especially in a public setting as well. Here I just told him to sit, and then I asked for him to do it down, just so he knows that doing commands in the store is totally fine. And they told him to do another down, telling him he's a good boy throughout these. But Murray was a very good boy on this trip, and I wanted to share with you that.